Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So episode 2, The Soul Keeper, shall be releasing within New Sharandar today. So after the maintenance and the patch, you should be able to jump into New Sharandar and access the new zone. And with it comes a few different rewards and I guess a new heroic encounter. Well, we shall gain access to a new zone, which will be like this grove area, and we'll be able to apparently farm out new companion gear and rings. Now they've also went and kind of hinted at that we shall be able to use thievery kits, or if you're a rogue and have the access to the thievery skill, then you'll be able to access with this one NPC. Apparently, if you go and look around and you find the Bashin Ordur treasurer, you shall be able to interact with him and take his treasure. Now, we do not know exactly what rewards we shall be able to obtain from him, but just keep a lookout for him and we can see what we'll be able to get. Along with this, there's been a variety of different changes with this patch, some fixes and whatnot. There's been a few fixes with the April Fowls, from the crown of concussed now actually displaying properly on Dragonborns, which is a great thing. Also, the ring of foul weather will no longer basically incorrectly hit for 1 damage, and also the ability on the fire chicken, the one where you create fire on the ground, has been adjusted to now properly work better, and a few other things. You can read the patch notes for yourself, the link should be in the description. Now with Help It coming around soon enough, they've made an adjustment that all players shall be now able to access it, and you won't be limited upon item level what we were before. This is a great thing because the rewards from Help It are really decent. So we move to the Vault of Stars. A few adjustments have been made here. They changed the corpse flowers so they'll no longer prevent players from advancing after the maze by remaining in combat indefinitely. They've also went and changed some of the achievements so they now should be easier to obtain, and the Queen of Air and Darkness will no longer basically repeat her voice line for every player. The Mount Merchant within Protector's Enclave was also moved, so he'll no longer obstruct any of the new mounts. And also with some legacy content, the Black Dagger Ruins, the Scuttle Ship, should be in a less inconvenient location around Garl Gnarlclaw, and also in the Never Death Graveyard, the Clockwork Tomb. The clocks no longer show some super weird blocky planes. Also, the Epic Hero Mail, which you receive at level 60, should now properly guide players to appropriate content. So I believe this will probably be appropriate campaigns, etc. Now, the Ring of the Foul Weather, they did adjust its visuals, so I believe it won't look completely like the Vortex from the Legendary Carpet, but we shall see. A few balance changes to the classes. With the Cleric Arbiter, Sacred Flame should now properly deal 100 magnitude of damage. For the Ranger, the Warden, Cordon of Arrows, the Strong Grasping Roots should now properly be applied earlier and properly spread to nearby targets. With the Rogue Assassin, unfortunately there's a slight nerf here, that the Path of Blades and Counterpower shall no longer be able to proc Duelist's Shadow on any other hit other than its initial cast. With some companions, there were a few adjustments, made them the actual work properly, like Blurred Vision now properly applies its effect, Deceptive Insight now has combined rating, Dulled Senses now properly applies its effect, Minstrel Discipline applies combined rating, Slowed Reactions now properly applies its effect, and Weapon Break now also properly applies its effect. With some item powers, the At Will perk, the different ranks of this item power now no longer incorrectly stack. The Boots of the Herald, the tooltip now properly states that it grants 1% defense rather than 1000 defense rating, and the Gristro Horns, the buff provided by this item now properly displays an icon. With some item sets, the weapon set specifically from Undermountain, they've now changed it so they grant total percentage contribution. So there'll be the Mountaineer set, who successfully give actual 5% defense. Then you have the Alabaster set and the Burnish set. All will now give total percentages rather than actual ratings. Then we go to mount powers, the Explosive Equalizer. The power's damage is no longer delayed by 1.5 seconds. This was very annoying. But then we go to the legendary Hellfire engine. It should more consistently face its actual target, and rejuvenating favor. The buff provided by this power now also displays an icon in like your buff bar. With some enemies and encounters, we have in Acquisitions Incorporated, possessed statues should now properly deal more than 1 damage. We have in Castle Ravenloft, the Sisters of Strahd. Their health was reduced again. This fight just was insanely long. Same with the Avernus Hunt, the Night Spine. That's the last final boss you'll encounter with those hunts. Its health has also been reduced. That's great. Within Master of the Hunt, the skirmish you can queue up. The runners and the hounds now deal appropriate damage with their melee attacks. Basically their damage was increased. Within Tomb of the Nine Gods, the Big Bee's Hand, I believe this is on the second boss, now has a lot less health. Rasnisi's Anthropal Cry power now deals less base damage, and Rasnisi's applied vulnerability now makes affected characters 10% more vulnerable, reduced from 25% more vulnerable, which was insane. Also in Tower of the Mad Mage, don't be walking on that electricity floor, as it will now actually deal damage, higher than what it was before of 0 damage. And in Zariel Challenge, the normal mode, so this is the easy one, I guess a good few players would have been doing that, and you may have noticed the sword portals weren't really doing any damage, so now they will actually. So with regards to items and economy, some artifacts like the Timor spinning coin now has stats appropriate for the updated combat system, and the Siegebreaker's banner now actually grants 5,000 critical avoidance and 5,000 critical severity, up from what it was 2,500. With artifact equipment, the Warlock weapons, the artifact modification that previously improved Essence Defiler, now properly increases the healing of the Infernal Barrier by 10%, and you may have to unequip and re-equip this item for it to apply properly. With regards to some equipment, the Lion Guard's armor for the Rogue now properly grants combined rating. The Lion Guard's Raid Hat has named to be corrected the Nightshade's Raid Hat. More pieces of companion gear can now be properly converted to refinement points, and with the new episode 2 starting to drop the companion gear early, they now will have all their correct name, stats and icons. Then we go to some of the items. All mythic quality mounts should now consistently show the extra safe discard prompt when attempting to discard it. The Lilraz Bell items can no longer be unequipped while they're on the cooldown. Some mount colors will no longer actually give the item level if they're not equipped to an active mount. The pristine rings have been polished and now actually are renamed to pristine rings with an I instead of an E. You can no longer actually earn the Seals of the Dark Fae, and the seed bread should now show its correct values in its tooltip, and the eladrin companion should now properly have a collections entry. With regards to some professions, the dragon eggs should no longer be purchasable as they're no longer valid. With regards to the Sharandar campaign store, you shall now be able to purchase the diamonds for 1 equal to 1,000 campaign currency, whereas before you were only able to purchase 20 for 20,000 of the currency. It doesn't mean that it's any cheaper, it's just a little bit easier to purchase them. I still think it's an insane price. It should be like 100 of the campaign currency for 1 diamond. Then we go to the Zen Market. The Butterfly Swarm mounts are now available in the Zen Market and will remain there for 30 days. This is the orange, the green and the purple one. There is a known issue where if you go and purchase them, that they shall no longer be reclaimed on the characters if previously purchased. Players who have previously purchased the Frost Mimic companion can now reclaim it on other characters on the same account, even outside the winter seasonal event. With regards to the user interface, the quests no longer incorrectly show quest available indicator if all the quests are blocked by other requirements. With regards to character art, the guised wrist guard of the Worm no longer causes characters' hands to disappear, and with performance and stability, players should be significantly less likely to stall in patching the game. So that's pretty much it for all of the patch notes. Overall, nothing too special. Just interested to see what this whole new episode 2 is going to involve, with a new area, new heroics, and I guess new companion gear, and apparently new rings. So we'll have to wait and see and find out. Hopefully going to make a video when it does all get released and we can see what's going on. We can progress with the part 2 of the campaign. If I present this well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. I will see you guys around. Goodbye for now.